Cloud License is an internet-based protection and licensing system. It's designed for use with any kind of software developed in any environment, any programming language, or OS. The only real requirements is your development environment must allow you to request a web page, and then based on the response string, to be able to do a little conditional logic. To use Cloud License, you're going to need an account on Safe Activation Service 3, or you can self-host the Cloud License server on your own website. CloudRT is a bundle of runtime files for popular development environments that'll make it really easy to implement Cloud License. For example, on an iPhone or iPad application using the iOS operating system developed with Xcode, you'll go and add these two files to your project. The static library implements the CloudRT, and then there's a class declaration, so you can call a few functions to identify what kind of license that you're adding to your application. You'll see that there's runtime files for Mac applications as well, Windows applications, Android applications. There's also a user guide that allows you to understand the Cloud License API a bit better and call each of the functions within the CloudRT class. It shows how to implement it in on various platforms, and how to use chapter describes how you can implement a trial license, a product license, a subscription license, or perhaps a trial to product license that allows the user to initially try your software for a period of time, then purchase and enter a serial number to activate a permanent license. Let's take a quick look at how CloudRT would be added to an Android project. Let's look at the folder structure on disk of an Android project. We have a project called Cloud Product, and within the Apps folder, there's a Libs folder, and that's where you'll see the CloudRT jar file that contains all the code to implement the Cloud License. We've also, within the source folder, main, res folder, layout, we've added 3 layout files that comes with CloudRT. Now, if we look at these this project within the Android Studio environment, you'll see the 3 layout files that we've added, and within the manifest area you'll see the internet and read-write permissions that we've added to our application to support CloudRT. And there's also 3 activities defined right here, so you'll paste in that code to your manifest file. Then if you move on to this is the main user interface of our application. It's a simple application, puts up the word hello world. If you click the do something button, it will validate if there's a license before it actually does the function. And we'll have one more button that gives the user access to various licensing options. In a real application, that button would probably end up on a preference dialog somewhere, or up here in as a button up here in the top of the application, depending upon the nature of your user interface. So if we look at the actual text of this user interface, we can see the little hello world label, and then the do something button and the license options button that are presenting this user interface. And here is the main code of our application, which we'll explore in a bit more depth here. Let's review all the code we added to our simple application to support CloudRT. At the very top, we've added an import statement to import the CloudRT class. In the main activity on the onCreate function, we instantiate the object CloudRT into a variable called cloud, and now we can call the status function to return the current status of that license. If the license happens to be no setup, we know we need to call the setup function. And within the user guide, you'll see the exact parameters you need for the setup function. Basically, we're identifying the server and the kind of license and some other information about that license. And then finally we call the validate function, and that's what actually causes the CloudRT software to pop up an activation dialog to activate that software for that device. If you recall, there was a do something function. When the user clicks the do something function, essentially all that's happening is your code is calling the status function of the CloudRT object, and if the license is currently activated, it does whatever it's supposed to do. Otherwise, it puts up a message to the users that they need to first activate the application. And then finally, there was one other button placed somewhere in your application so that the user can get access to some of the other licensing features. Specifically, what kind of features are going to be presented to the user will be based on the string parameter that you send to it. And again, that's defined in the user's guide. So that's basically all the code that we have to add to support the CloudRT within our application. And now we can go ahead and launch this Android application into the simulator and take a look at how it works. Your application is launched the first time into the simulator on a real device. The user is presented with an activation screen where they can type in the information you request and then click the Activate Now button. After the user types in the serial number they purchased from you and other information you request, they click the Activate Now button and the software is activated. Here we can see the software in operation. If the user clicks the Do Something button, it will do whatever the software is supposed to do. Otherwise, it would have presented a message to activate the software first. If the user clicks the License Options button, then it presents a screen of information where the user can do various functions based on what options you give to the user, like releasing the license so it can be activated on a different machine, for example. If we add CloudRT to an iOS application, the user is going to have to fill in some screens on first launch to activate the application, and then they'll click the Activate Now button. To summarize, almost any software can be protected and licensed with Cloud License. The developer will start by getting a developer account on the Safe Activation server or self-host the Cloud License server on their own website. They can either add some commands to their software to send URL to the server, and then based on the response, do a little conditional logic and implement a variety of different license types, or to make it even easier, using the CloudRT bundle, they'll get runtime files from many popular environments.